Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Each episode is about a single movie, and we'll get to today's episode's movie in a little bit. But first, as usual, I need to invite you, the listener, to partake in the fan vote, which usually happens during today's episode. But with episode 100 being the next episode, we're doing something special. So you got a whole nother like 2 or so weeks before, or actually way more than that. You have like another month or two to get movies in if you want to either change your recommendation or put a new one in. Just send us an email at ff.filmfreaks with a Z at the end at gmail.com or comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks with a Z on YouTube or talk in the Discord, the Fair Nation Discord, in the movie stuff section, and we can scribble down your movie. Or if you're on the podcast, damn, just go ahead and request a movie while you're talking to us. There's a lot of ways to do it, and we're always looking for more.
That exclamation.
That's right. So, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we start talking about the movie. I am the Fast and the Ferret, and I'm here with...
Gritty Waffles.
Just Taymation. Oh, geez. I did not think of one again. The Callus Toretto.
How are we all feeling today, huh?
Just feeling pretty good today.
Pretty good.
Yeah, feeling
A little
good.
colder today outside, but
So we got some stuff to talk about before the movie.
Yes.
Greedy has caught a little bit up with the Fast and Furious franchise. Do you want to give some quick thoughts on the lead up to Fast 5?
like that to give my ratings or just like what I thought about them.
If you
One
want.
sentence review of each, maybe.
Let's see. Fast and the Furious, the first one. At bad acting. Horrible plot. Nothing really plot worthy. The
That's a
second
sentence.
Fast. Was that?
It's more than a
No, keep going.
sentence.
Sorry.
It was all right. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Too
Damn,
Fast,
higher
Too
than I thought.
Furious. Second movie. Bad acting again. Oh, what else did I say? The chasing was a little cool at the end. For the second movie. But I felt like this one just really dragged on. No pun intended. Drag. Get it? Cars fast. I just felt kind of bored and wasn't really into the movie. The third one, the Tokyo Drift. Yeah, that one was probably not the worst, but like it just felt dragged on and a lot of dull characters throughout the movie. But the drifting was really cool and like the cars stuff was really awesome. But other than that, it was just like meh. And I gave both of those last two movies 2.5s. And then I didn't watch the fourth one. So
Greedy didn't do all his homework, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So close. So
I
close.
couldn't be.
well,
I
from
couldn't be
here,
more
it
opposite.
sounds like I shouldn't watch it.
I could have been more opposite about Tokyo Drift, at least. Like Too Fast, Too Furious. Obviously, it's acquired taste, but Tokyo Drift. I mean, I do disagree with that one, but that's just me. I did watch Fast and Furious, which is the fourth movie, and I gotta say, I wanted to rip my eyeballs out while watching this one. Like, it was so bad. Like, boring, slow, everything that I didn't like about the original movie and
it
most
wasn't
of the
Fast
other
or
ones.
Furious.
It was not. And like you know how most of these movies have like a cool ending. This one just was not it. They were driving in like an open space and then they went through a tunnel with bad CGI and I'm like, please just end it. And the dumb thing is too, like the ending sequence was only like 10 minutes long. I looked like as soon as the action started picking up, I was like, oh, how far are we in the movie? I was like, damn, we only got 10 minutes left plus credits in this thing. Like, it was such a long, drawn out movie, and it was like a 1 star for me. Like, horrible, barely watchable. Not one I'd like to revisit.
You know what's funny is I did revisit it a few weeks ago, and I can't even remember what happened at the ending.
Yeah,
So,
not memorable.
Good segue into this. I thought like the first few or minute or two of this Fast 5 was like flashbacks to Fast and Furious or whatever, number 4.
It was
Yeah.
the prison bus was a part of that.
Well, you just see them approaching the bus, and then it cuts right there.
Yeah, can I just say everyone would have died on the bus at the meeting?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was my first thing. is Everyone
But-
would have
That was
died.
my first gripe of the movie.
Whoa,
Anyway,
whoa, whoa,
but we
we're
got
getting
Callus,
ahead of
Callus
ourselves.
still needs to introduce
We're
the
getting
movie.
ahead.
So, as we all know, this is Callus's final official recommendation for the podcast.
Yes.
Let's give him his space here and let him introduce the movie. Callus, take it away.
Thank you, Yemmy. So yes, I finally decided to do it and recommend Fast 5. Now I'm like Tay last time, and I don't remember how to do this, how to introduce the movie.
Yeah.
All right, so
Let me hold your hand. Okay, the year, Callus.
yeah. So Fast 5 came out in 2011. Was directed by Justin Lin. It stars Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Dwayne Johnson, Tyrese Ludacris, Gal Gadot, many more. Big cast on this one. And basic plot on this is Dominic Toretto and his crew of street racers plan a massive heist to buy their freedom while in their sights of a powerful Brazilian drug lord and a dangerous federal agent. So I would like to start the conversation with, if I were to get arrested, would you guys come bail me out?
like that.
Jailbreak me? Just like, that?
Like
Yep.
how they did? No,
Yes.
I would want you to be alive.
Yeah.
Mm.
Might have to pull the bus over or something and make it stop and take it over.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, I don't want a bus, like just rear-ending the back of my car, and killing it, pretty much. Like, 'cause
Also,
that
you
would
know-
happen
Well,
too.
that was my first. That was my first one. Is buses are like 6 times heavier than cars. It wouldn't hit the car and flip. It would just
Yeah.
barrel through the car, killing Paul Walker.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Plus, with the all the other convicts in there, like apparently
Yeah.
he was being transported with like murderers and stuff like that. So
Didn't
mean-
he just steal DVD players or something?
yeah, he beat someone up with a pipe or something like that.
Oh,
Close
No
to death.
fatalities.
No
Well, I mean, he
fat-
has like 20 different crimes after that, but
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did a bunch of other stuff, but. Yeah, I can't believe no fatal. I mean, you look at the
Yeah.
back end of that bus, and it's completely
it just
pancaked.
crumpled.
Yeah.
The whole bus is
Everyone's dead.
crumpled. There's no seatbelt on the bus. Like the
Yeah,
driver
exactly.
maybe survived because he has a seatbelt, but everyone
And-
else would have just been bouncing.
Their arms would have
around
been
and
ripped
Yeah,
off.
everyone would have been
Yeah.
thrown in that bus. Like they would have been thrown on the
Smashed
side
by
of the
the
street.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they would've-
also, like, when is there ever a bus transporting prisoners and no other patrol cars also like escorting that bus?
Holes,
When has that ever happened?
holes.
Yeah, it happened in holes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, those are kids though. It's not like dangerous criminals.
That was a detention. That wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't prison. That was just to a detention camp.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
I
there
don't
would
know.
be at least a squad car. You'd think, especially for as many prisoners were on that bus. I
Yeah.
feel like they probably would have some sort of transport. Some sort of police force with them.
Yeah.
But knowing Paul Walker and the other Maya, was her name Mia?
Mia.
Whatever. They would have just run those cars off the road. They would have flipped and just been knocked unconscious.
Yeah. Or they would have shot spikes out of the side of their tires, and
Yeah.
that would have been cool. But that didn't happen.
Yeah. So right from the get go, I was just like, oh, okay. So we're just ignoring physics. Okay, cool.
So many more things ignore physics, and it just gets worse and worse as the movies progress.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yeah, fast
Yeah.
forward to the train sequence when both Paul Walker and Vin Diesel jump out of their car and literally, like, it's like a 50-foot drop into the water down below, and they're just like,
Yeah.
we're fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the car broke the water, so
The
yeah.
car did break the water. but I do like
Mythbusters
the-
busted that.
It's
Wait,
true.
what?
No, go ahead. Go
Mythbusters
ahead.
busted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That
Well, if
scene
you point your
specifically?
toes down, you won't have much of an impact.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
break
I'm pretty
your-
sure the
your
myth.
toes.
The myth was that if you throw like a hammer while you're falling or something,
Yeah,
that if it breaks the water tension, you'll be fine. But they busted that pretty quickly.
they did.
Yeah.
Although, if it was only 50 feet, they would survive. Because I've seen people do cliff diving off 60 feet.
You
But
know,
it
seem
did. It
deeper
looked a
than
little.
that.
It looked. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, for me, it looked like it was at least 120 feet.
Yeah, I was just
was pretty
estimating.
far.
I don't know exactly how
Yeah.
far it was, but it was a huge ravine with a little bit of water down at the bottom.
Yeah. And I like how like the car breaks the water, they hit in the water. Next shot, the water is perfectly still, and they poke up. It's like they were either under there for a long time for the water to calm down, or it's clearly just it's fine. Just pop out of the water.
It's miracle water.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It heals you as you go into it. But before I want to back up a little bit right before they go into the water because there's other problems with this car and train heist. Okay, so as they're approaching the train, they needed 4-wheel drive. Like you see this truck with heavy suspension, 4-wheel drive, takes them into the train. And these are muscle cars they're stealing that they drive away. It's like no suspension, no clearance. Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Also,
it is
it was a
possible.
little more flatter about time when they
Yeah,
drove
it's like,
off.
it is possible, but it is very, unbelievable just to have these muscle cars. Like, we'll be fine. It's like they don't even have 4-wheel drive.
Oh, the hell of a truck, though. I mean, had all that stuff that it could do. That's pretty.
Yeah,
neat.
no, the truck was well equipped. The truck was fine. I had no problems with the truck. I do think it was dumb of them to plan the heist minutes before it was about to hit a bridge.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the flattest part of the area.
Maybe a little seeing a little planning scene or something to explain some of that stuff would have been nice.
No planning.
No
And we
planning,
didn't
just
need this
go.
movie going longer than it needed to.
That's true. And the other part I want to talk about for the train heist was the guards. They start going through these the train cars at the back where all the the freight trains, cargo trains, whatever. And as they're going back, the truck slams into the side of the train.
Yep.
And which I was like, without derail a train, turned out it wouldn't. The only way to derail a train is to get underneath it, but hitting it from the side won't derail it usually. So I was like, all right, I'll give them that. I'll give them that pass.
Awesome. It's the most realistic movie ever. Gotcha.
But yeah, just like
Besides
these
the
guards.
part, they don't stop for gas. Just saying.
Well, yeah. But these guards, they would have walked right through this train car and seen this truck and people in there and gone like, the hell? But they didn't. They just walked right through it, right to the end, and be like, oh no, they're stealing the cars.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't notice sooner. I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed that. A little bit of sequence break there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was right before, like, they were looking for the key cards, then the truck hit the train, and then they got through. So it's like, yeah, they totally would have, like, either passed through it or been in that train car when the truck hit. But yeah, well, whatever.
Yep, that's the thing with this movie. It's like, you really got to, like, shut your brain off to watch any of these movies, especially if you start watching, like, the ones after this one. They just get even more ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if I shut my brain off, I'm going to go to sleep on this one. I got to tell you, after the train sequence, like, the movie it felt like 5 hours passed between the end of the train section and the beginning of, like, the fight between Dwayne and Vin Diesel. Like, I was zoning a little bit, and I was, like, so bored that I would yawn, and then, like, tears would fill up my eyes.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, oh no. I had to keep
was
wiping away tears, not because the movie was sad, but because I was yawning so much.
Yeah.
That's a lot of planning.
Once the team started to show up, I was like, okay, this is getting a little more interesting. And also now I don't feel like I'm, like, the first half, I'm just like, there's so many references to the fourth movie or previous movies that I was just like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Well, the
Who are these
entire
people they're talking about.
the entire group of people is like a callback to every single movie in the franchise.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, Yemmy, were you surprised to see Han come back? Which I think he also came back in the fourth one.
Yeah, it's funny because at the end of the fourth one, Vin Diesel's like, "Oh, you're heading to Tokyo," and Han's like, "Yeah, I'm heading to Tokyo." And you're like, "Oh, that's sad. He dies in Tokyo Drift." And then he comes back in Fast 5, and it's like, well, did he not get to Tokyo? Was there a point where he came back again? Like,
and then he's going to Tokyo again at the end of this one.
Yeah, well, not yet.
Yeah, he didn't
Not
make
yet.
it there. Yeah,
He's going to Berlin first.
He gotta fuck Gal Gadot and then head to Tokyo.
Did he die in Fast?
He dies in Tokyo Drift.
Does he? Huh.
So
know
yeah,
what's
the
funny?
timeline is
What's the
weird, and
main
also
driver?
he looks way older in this movie than he did in Tokyo Drift.
Yep,
like-
yeah, that's the thing.
I was like,
The
who was
timeline is so weird.
the main guy in 3 then? The very end.
The
that's
generic
like,
white man.
Yeah,
Oh,
some
okay.
Vin
white
Diesel
guy.
came up at the end, but it was
Yeah,
just
yeah. That's the one I remember. Him racing one of the drifter guys, but I guess it was the white guy.
yeah, it was just a generic white guy who didn't really speak Japanese, so they sent him to Tokyo to live with his dad, and like everyone around him just speaks English. It's like,
Oh, there you go.
Do you want me to blow your mind?
blow
now?
it.
Actually, well, you're not planning to watch any other fests, right? You're stopping.
That's
after
the
that?
big
So you-
spoiler. I'm done
Yeah.
here.
Okay, so you don't care about spoilers for the rest of the
No.
movies.
No, I don't think so.
All right, so in Fast in Fast 6, the crew gets together again to take down these mercenaries by this guy named something Shaw, Owen Shaw, I think.
Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
No, that's a different Shaw.
Oh, what?
Uh,
Yeah,
jeez.
that's Shaw's brother. Shaw.
Yeah. So in the
What?
7th movie is
I don't
Jason
get it.
Statham, Deckard Shaw, who's his brother, who takes revenge on the crew. But like at the end of the 6th, when they capture the other Shaw, they show like an end credit scene where they show Han, getting in the crash from Tokyo Drift, and then like how the car blows up.
Yeah.
It's actually Jason Statham that pulled the trigger on whatever car bomb was in the car, and that's him like taking revenge on the crew for capturing his brother. So
Oh,
Tokyo Drift
wow.
actually takes place after the 6th movie,
Not it.
which makes no sense at all.
I'm not using any
Sorry about
brain
that.
functionality to react to
Figure
this.
that out. Yeah.
And here's the kicker: Han actually survives, and he comes back in the 9th.
What?
Wait.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how this movie goes. Because the
Well-
chick they show at the end to Hobbs, that's Dom's wife who died in the second one or something, right?
Yeah,
Or
she
first
comes
one,
back.
or-
Yeah, she comes back for the 6th movie. Yep.
Yeah, and then she's
She
just
has
in the
apparently
rest.
survived.
Well, I'm definitely not watching the movies now because that just is there no stakes in this movie in these movies? Everyone just comes
No,
back. Is
never.
the Vince
Yeah.
guy in this movie coming back in the 8th movie or something? Like,
No, but Gal
Oh.
Gadot does die in the 6th, but then she comes back in the 10th.
what?
What?
Wait, who dies?
Gal
Guy-
Gadot's character.
Gal
Yeah,
Gadot.
that was- Yeah, I didn't know she was in another. I thought this was the first and like only one she was in. And then
She was
just
in
like,
Fast
no, I don't
and
want to be in
Yeah,
these
she was in
anymore.
4th.
Yeah, she was like this this series has like I guess from here on out every single bad guy who is against the family just joins the family eventually.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the other thing too. Like even the Shaw brothers, like they both were bad guys in the movies, but then like eventually they team up with the crew.
Yeah, this series this is you know what? I'm sorry, Callus. This is a terrible series of movies. Like, you know,
also
when,
don't know how to name their movies.
well, that's true too.
That is 100% true.
I mean, it was kind of fun there from the 2nd to 3rd movie, but the 4th one afterwards, I don't have any reason to go back to this series after this podcast episode. Like, it sounds dumb. It sounds like it's gonna be more of the same, and I just didn't. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like this movie. I thought it was boring, and yeah. I mean, the only good part was the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, the movies become really more about the set pieces, like the action scenes and ridiculousness like that. Yeah.
So, before we go talk about this end scene.
Well,
I
we'll
do-
hold off on
Oh,
that.
wait, we gotta.
Well, I say I have other stuff to talk about. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
can
here.
bullet point this because I was so bored throughout the whole thing. Like I know things were happening, but it felt like in my mind like that the movie was just marking time and nothing was happening. I know there was stuff happening on screen and obviously the plot was moving forward, but I was just like so like frazzled at how boring they presented this whole plot of the movie.
Yeah. So I want to just talk about real quick here. About Hobbs. We get Hobbs here. Who's just he's a bad cop. I mean, is there really a good one? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess depends.
But yeah, just the
Depends
fact
on how you
they're
look at it.
Yeah, just the fact they're like, I'm innocent. Well, I don't care. Your name came across my desk, so I have to kill you. It's like,
Bring him in, not
Oh.
kill him.
yeah, bring him in, but he kills people for just at the drop of a hat. But my biggest my biggest moment of just like the hell. Well, there's a lot of them, but one of them was when he's just like, they were disassembling this car, reassemble it, and then they're like, oh, okay, and it's like, I'm sorry, are you guys federal agents or mechanics? Usually, you don't know how to do everything. Like, I'm a video editor. If someone's like, I need you to fix this car, I'd be like, no, I don't know how to do that. And just the fact that these guys were like, okay, it's like, does everyone in this universe just know how to reassemble cars?
I guess so. Maybe they were specifically picked because they were car guys, possibly.
Maybe.
For this mission.
I don't know. Maybe they could have gotten better vehicles to drive in then, instead of just being cannon fodder in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
And I
Greedy,
guess we
Greedy
temporarily
dropped
lost
out.
Grady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guarantee he was going to say, because you mentioned this in your stream today, Callus, that they put together the
Yes.
whole car and they're like, there's nothing missing, and like 2 seconds goes by and Dwayne Johnson's like, oh, the SD card's missing. Like he presses one button and he figures it out. It's
The
pretty
chip's
funny.
missing. Like, if I turned that on and saw an error, I wouldn't go, oh, the chip's missing. I'd be like, huh, I don't know.
You wired something wrong or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, oh, so dumb. Just the fact, they're taking it apart, and it's like they didn't finish taking it apart. So how do they know they didn't actually finish and find what they were looking for?
Right.
And yeah, the only reason they know it was the chips because Vince shows up and just like tries to take the chip. It's like, I'll just give it to him, so we'll end the. They won't be trying to kill you. No.
I
Okay.
forget what was even on the chip.
It's just all the
All the
locations
addresses.
of his money houses.
All the
Okay.
drop houses, yeah.
Yeah, and the drug drops and where to deliver everything. Either way, it's like at that point, had they done anything really besides lock Vince up or not Vince, Dom and Paul Walker, like they hung him in chains for like 5 minutes and then they broke free, killed everybody, and got away. And now they're like, no, we can't give him this stuff back. It's like it doesn't. The motivation for why they wouldn't just go, oh yeah, no, take it back to him, so he leaves us the fuck alone.
Well, Dom definitely had ulterior motives because he took the. No, they had Mia take the blue car that was apparently super special.
Well, that was the one with the chip.
Right. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Vince maybe knew about it. That's why Dom knew about it.
Yeah.
Vince
So-
knew about it, yeah.
So
But Dom didn't know about it. He just he knew that that car was important to them somehow.
he was
So,
just like
yeah.
he just had his Vin Diesel intuition.
Exactly, yeah.
I liked how when we first meet not Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, his character's like, don't let him get in cars. If we let him get in cars, they're gone. And I was really hoping that they were going to actually do something with that. I mean, I know that they smash Dom's car in the middle of that one scene where they break into
Yeah.
the house, but I was really hoping like they would have like some like in Too Fast, Too Furious, there's those things that latch onto the car and like power them down. It's like why didn't we bring those with us, or why didn't we bring some other weird technology to like stop them from driving? I was really
That's
hoping
right,
to see
yeah.
more of that, but instead they just let them get into cars, except for Dom, who his car gets destroyed in like every single movie. So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I
that I
don't know.
think that they do play around with that more in later movies, but yeah, in this one, not too much.
what, they destroy Dom's car again and again and again, and do in different ways.
There's a scene in like the last one where he's like at the end of the 10th where the bad guy's like, all right, you're done, Dom, you're defeated, and he's like, you made one mistake though, you didn't take my car away. And it's just so
These are so dumb.
it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, I used to enjoy Vin Diesel in movies. Like the Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black. I love those movies. I think he's good in those movies. But recently I've just like I don't think Vin Diesel can act. Like after watching all these movies and seeing other ones with him in it, like Bloodshot and stuff like that, The Vin Diesel charm has kind of gotten away from me. I don't think he's a really great actor, and I don't think many
know-
of the performances in this movie in general are that great.
I like the Riddick movies. I think they're fun, but I never thought Vin Diesel was a good actor in them.
I mean, at Pitch Black, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. The final movie, the one that's just called Riddick, is really bad. So,
Yeah.
like that one, like Vin wasn't even trying, and the movie was terrible.
I didn't see that one. I just saw the Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick.
And maybe if I watch him again, maybe I'll have a different opinion because I haven't really watched him since like I went on a trip to California back in like 2014, a long plane ride. So
because I probably haven't seen him since like 2005 or 6. At least for Chronicles of Riddick. I've seen Pitch Black sooner than that.
yeah, I
Or
love
more
Pitch
recently
Black
than
still.
that. Yeah, Pitch Black is good.
I know that's been recommended for the fan vote, so eventually it'll
Yeah.
get around to watching it.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
That's-
Vin Diesel I've never thought was a great. He's good in Iron Giant and like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you get like
When he
you
does
get
a voice
three
acting.
lines. Yeah, you have a few lines. We just need that gravelly voice.
Welcome back, Greedy.
So, yeah, welcome back, Greedy.
Welcome back.
By the way, Greedy, we did talk about that scene where The Rock just figures out that the midship was missing in like 3 seconds.
Nothing's
Didn't
missing.
even think
The
about
chip's missing.
Like, yeah, like seriously, didn't think about that.
Yeah, you don't
The guy
think
searched
that.
his whole car, and Rock just comes up and pushes a button.
Yeah, you don't think that maybe they just wired something wrong, or yeah. Dumb. It was dumb.
The thing with the acting, though, is like both Tyrese and Ludacris are both musicians. That's like, their claim to fame is like through music, as well as the 2 Spanish guys, Tego and Don Omar. They're both musicians. Like, so many people out here are musicians, not actually actors. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, they
Wasn't
have.
that him singing at the end too?
yeah, I believe one of
Tyrese.
their songs was
Yeah.
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
they know their audience, and their audience likes rappers turned singers or actors,
Yeah.
or singers turned actors, or
Tyrese
I
was in
don't-
Morbius.
Mm.
Oh, did he write a song for Morbius? Yo, it's Morbin time. Bow, baby.
Tyrese
Yeah.
definitely
Just
moved
the
to acting
Power
a lot
Rangers
more.
Song.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of singers who have turned actors that
Yeah.
I think are really good actors.
Well, I
Um,
thought Tyrese was great in Too Fast, Too Furious. I know Greedy doesn't think so, but I thought he was great in that one. And this one, I feel like a
Which
lot of
one's
the
Tyrese?
Tyrese is bald.
The bold one.
Okay,
Roman.
the one who was known for his talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talking a lot. Yep.
Okay, yeah. No, I thought he did
I
fine.
thought Tyrese was good. I mean, the second movie, I said bad acting outside of Paul. And
Yeah, not just now. So, but anyway,
Letterbox review.
well, I mean, this isn't Letterbox, is it? This is the podcast. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Tyrese did great in Too Fast and Furious, but in this movie, even though he did fine, I thought that the jokes were really forced in this one. Didn't really find it funny.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the 2
There was-
Spanish
yeah.
guys were there for like comedy relief, and I was just kind of like, whatever.
No, yeah, they definitely felt like they were supposed to be, but everything they said just felt forced and like I feel like they watched Ocean's 11 and went, "Hey, those 2 guys in Ocean's 11 that have comic relief? Let's just do that." But-
Yes, that's exactly it. They're trying so hard to make this into like an Ocean's 11 type of heist movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're trying
Yeah,
to
that's a
do all
good,
this
good point. Yeah.
elaborate planning and stuff, which at the end it doesn't even matter because they just do something completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if they had actually gone through with the heist, I would have like, "Oh, that would have been interesting." But no, they didn't. Which is weird because they still sent off like half the team to go start the heist. And then
and nothing happens. Then they end up
then
back at
Hobbs shows
the.
up, gets the 3 of them, the 3 main,
Mm.
or 4, I guess, because Vince was there.
Is he main
like-
though?
Well, he's
I mean, he
not-
was in
no,
the
he's
original.
not.
He literally shows up 5 minutes before that scene.
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah, no, Vince. That's why I said the 3 and Vince.
yeah.
The 3 names and Vince.
Okay.
And like they weren't able to contact them, and like suddenly they're after they get a new plan, and
I mean, they must
like
have
everyone's
known,
back.
right?
Well, everyone was back for that new plan, which was like
Yeah.
a very minor plan, like, and how Hobbs didn't know about their switcheroo with the vault. It's
Yeah,
like he was there for the
yeah.
planning. Um, Also, I think it's funny that there was one point where like, oh yeah, so like the Rock showed up, Hobbs showed up, and they put the car back together, and then like they run away from that base, and then like there's another shot later where it looks like they're in the exact same. They just went back to the base that like everyone knew about. And then, like,
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know
it
if you want
just,
to say about that. That's pretty funny.
I don't think it was supposed to be the same one, but it looked like they just reused the same set. It's like it's a garage. No one will know. And then yeah, when he shows up, it's like I reversed your tracker. One, how did he find the tracker? Like there was no hints of anything that they put it on there. So how did he find it? And then yeah, reversed it, and it's like I found it, you guys, through reverse. It's like also you're in the same base from earlier.
Right.
Like change it up.
Go where they never expect you to go. Back to where you already were.
Back where they almost
They're like,
got
oh, they can't be that dumb, right? Right?
Maybe that was the genius thing. Like they are hiding
Yeah.
in plain sight, like where they least expect them to be.
Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, like I said, planning for this heist, they're trying to get past these cameras, and like Han, who's the drifter, and they're like, we have all these corner pins, we can't go around fast enough. It's like, aren't you the drifter? Shouldn't you be drifting?
Yeah, I feel like they really pulled the rug out from Han's character because like he's supposed to be the best drifter ever and whatever. And even though yeah, sure, like Gal Gadot comes in and she's like, yeah, this is child's play or whatever. Like I don't mind. It's just like he was the guy they brought in for the drifting. Like let him do
Yeah.
his thing. Like why did they write him to be like so? I don't
Useless?
know. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of useless in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, at the very end, he's the one who does the best, but he's still caught by the cameras, which is fine. Okay, so then they go steal the police car. So it's like, you do realize they logged that they were stolen, and if they show up at the station suddenly, they're not going to be like,
Did they even know
that's-
they were stolen though?
yeah,
That's the
Probably
one. That's
not.
the other thing because they show up later in the movie. Like I kind of forgot that they had stolen those police cars because it's like they had no plot significance after the fact that they were stolen.
yeah,
And yeah, all of a sudden they show up and it's like, well, one, I feel like we should have had a scene where like, oh, there's 4 cop cars missing or whatever, like something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just, it's so weird because it doesn't even seem like they care. The police officers care that there's cars missing.
but
Hey,
to Greedy's-
there's 4 of us. Let's go steal some cop cars from the local police station.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
I
just-
mean,
it
to
was very
Greedy's point
easy.
though, we didn't need the movie to be longer.
Yeah.
They could have
There's
trimmed
also
out some
that.
other stuff for context, but
Yeah, no, there's some other things they could have gotten rid of to give us context for some of this stuff to make, but it is just a turn your brain off and watch action scenes or racing or whatever that was.
yeah, I mean, I think
Whatever
Yeah,
that was.
Han,
I think
yeah,
I,
Han and that weapons chick too. It just seemed like kind of useless.
Gal Gadot?
outside
Giselle?
that, yeah, outside of her,
Getting
sitting
the
on that guy's
handprint.
lap, I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing when they're like, she goes approaching them, they're like, hey, no, you can't come through here. And then you just see like people walking through there in the background. They're like clearly not part of like this guy's entourage or whatever.
I didn't notice that.
I did. And I was just like, why are they stopping her? They're just out in a veranda. People are walking by constantly.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this before, but I find it really hard to do a brain shut off during a movie.
Yeah.
Like if I have to not think when watching a movie, that just means it's a bad movie. Like there should be some sort of engaging plot and some engaging characters to bind together the action. And we saw it before with we just talked about Parasite with Player 2P2 where that's a movie where it's like everything is kind of linking together and building up to that massive action point, which makes the whole movie a good experience. As with this one, you gotta shut your brain off for an hour and 30 minutes, so you're just sitting there with a dumb look on your face as they ramble and hour 30 minutes. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know. That just tells me that it's a bad movie.
Yeah. Like there's some movies that I can kind of turn my brain off. Not like the whole movie, but there's times where it's like, okay, that's kind of dumb, but whatever, they had to move the plot forward in some way. I'll ignore it. But this whole movie just felt like everything was a dumb plot point that shouldn't have happened that worked somehow to move the plot along through the whole thing.
The whole thing with Vin Diesel getting his necklace back.
Oh
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
we really didn't need any of that. Like it didn't add anything to this movie other than
Yeah.
maybe
Was that
the
his
rookie.
wife's necklace?
Yeah, it was Michelle Rodriguez's
Yeah.
thing. Well, I guess not really hers because he's wearing it in most of the other movies.
Yeah, I thought
Well,
he
it
had
was
it in the
hers
first.
originally.
No, I thought he had it in
Yeah.
the first movie, unless she
I
gave
don't
it to
know.
him before that.
It was, I guess he left it to her in the fourth movie, and then she died, and then he got it back. It's some whole other thing.
Hmm.
I guess she didn't
Yeah, I
really
thought
die.
they were gonna form like an underground relationship or something, but no. Like every scene that her and Dom, like getting into it or kind of like looking at each other, it's like pointless. It was like what for? The scene where
Vin
they're running
had
through
to-
the
They-
village.
They did
and
end
all
up
that?
together.
Yes, they jumping to the end. Wasn't he with her?
Yes,
Yeah.
Was that her?
When they go
Yeah.
visit
Yeah, that was
Paul
like-
Wait, that
Walker?
was her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her.
The cop lady?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Pretty
her?
pretty
Yeah.
stupid, isn't it?
It's
Wow.
very stupid. It's like it went from being like the only honest cop to the force. Like, yeah, I can be with a criminal.
Okay, I didn't. Maybe I was just kind of wasn't paying attention to her, but
It,
I
well,
didn't think
it
that
was kind of
her.
hard to. They never did a close up of her face, to bring it in. Like, yep, that's her. But it looked like her.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous to know that they brought Michelle Rodriguez back in like another movie. Like,
In the next movie.
yeah,
And the next one, yeah, they died from one movie.
because yeah,
Wait, so she died in the fourth one?
yeah, she
Yes.
she quote unquote dies.
Yeah.
You know, a guy points a gun at her and shoots. So you kind of expect her to die, just like how Han died in a fiery crash. You kind of expect him to die, but
Yeah.
I
So,
guess
like,
it's the
okay,
Star
so-
Wars thing where if you don't see them die, they're not dead.
Yeah. So. So I guess from that point, they had to run away. They didn't get her body and take her to the hospital or anything. Someone else supposedly did that.
Well,
I'm
in the
guessing.
fourth movie, she got killed in like Mexico because the whole plot around that one is drug running through these tunnels under the border or something like that. But either way, you would think that
I thought she got killed in Texas, like after she went over the border.
why don't they kill the runners in Mexico after they do the job?
I thought it was like after they had crossed the border, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
So yeah, they transport the drugs into Mexico and then they kill them.
Weren't
Does
they
your-
transporting it out of Mexico?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Does it really
I
matter?
don't- no, it
Like-
doesn't.
Yeah, I was saying.
She,
Brown movie.
I thought she had died much sooner, like in the first movie.
Well,
No.
yeah, she doesn't show up again until the fourth movie, which is kind of like a quote unquote reboot.
Well, I mean, I would say Vin doesn't really even show up till the fourth movie. I mean,
No,
he has
no,
a
he-
cameo in the third.
He's in the third, and he's a big part of the first one.
Yeah, the first one, but he's not in the second one. Paul Walker was
Yeah,
the,
not in the
main.
second or third.
Yeah, Too
Yeah.
Fast was too good for Vin. I think that
Except for one cameo.
I'm pretty sure they killed off Michelle Rodriguez because I think something was going on with her at the time because Lost killed her off too.
Oh, yeah.
pretty much the same year. I don't remember what
No.
happened exactly, but like every show and movie she was on, or franchise she was in, they had to kill her off for some reason. I don't remember what happened exactly.
I wonder if it was just a personal thing where she's just like, I need to be off these.
Yeah, if you thought the death in Fast and Furious was weird, I mean the one in Lost is even weirder because like
yeah,
she just walks down the stairs and just gets gunned down. And it's like what?
yeah,
Like-
that one was out of the blue. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing that.
Yeah. Well, they killed two people off in that episode of Lost.
Yeah,
Because both of them were having like scheduling conflicts or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Or
Yeah.
maybe one of them was both of them were going to prison. I don't remember. I just know that it was just a very unceremonious death
Yeah.
for both
one
the
of them.
characters.
I know one of them was like wasn't a conflict of like it was like no one liked them or they were going to jail or something like that. So that was,
so-
we're writing them off.
Because it doesn't really matter in the long run because Michelle Rodriguez is back and she's better than ever.
In
Alive and
true
well.
Film Freaks fashion, we're
Yeah.
talking about off-topic stuff.
And now
Yeah.
she has a Chromebook commercial. I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh, I have not.
She was in the D&D movie,
That's right.
which was a good movie.
Talk about a redemption arc. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's being redeemed from. I don't know, but
Well,
yeah.
we can look this up later. Or you can look it up, listener. You have the internet.
Yeah. Google right now. Hey Google, Michelle Rodriguez. Oh nope, cancel. Okay, we're good.
I've actually listened.
Wow.
So anyway, Fast Five.
Back to Fast 5.
Should we talk about how? I guess there's the big action scene we could talk about, but I kind of want to just mention like this movie feels final, right? Like it feels like this was supposed to be like the final movie in the franchise.
What did
Eh?
it really?
No, not really.
I
don't
mean,
think so.
they showed how everyone was like happy and living their lives,
Yeah.
and
I
like
agree.
they were
Yeah,
you know,
Mm.
they were
okay.
having Mia and Paul Walker
True,
were
yeah.
having a baby, and Vin Diesel was dating the cop lady, and Han and Gal Gadot were driving it off into the sunset. Like this felt like the final movie in the franchise.
Yeah.
And
And
they
hell, that
well,
end
being-
credit scene. I mean, they knew because they did that end credit scene.
You know what? I turned it off before the end credits scene. I'll be
Oh,
honest.
you didn't see
yeah, I
it.
did too. I didn't see it.
Basically, you
but-
see the cup lady from Too Fast walk in. I forgot her name. She comes into like Hop's office, and she's like, "There's a crew that hit up a mercenary group that hit up something in Europe," and like he's like, "Is it dumb?" And she's like, "No, it's not." Then he's like, "Oh, I don't care," and she's like, "Oh, but you're gonna be interested in this?" And then he opens the file, and it's Michelle Rodriguez
Oh,
face.
wow.
Yeah.
So how do they go? How does Fast Six or whatever it's called, Fast and Furious 6? How do they start that one off? Like, are they all just like calm and collective at their houses, and like all of a sudden Vin Diesel's like, "We gotta do stuff with the family."
I don't remember.
Good interpretation. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I feel like because when does Paul Walker die? Like in real
7?
life?
On the 7th, yeah, he had 7th
Okay.
movie is the final one.
Okay, because I know like it ends with him they just like he just should be with his family.
Yeah,
So
they
he's
decide
he's out of our family. He has his own family.
oh, because Brian has a baby now, we should just leave him alone. We should not get him involved in this stuff.
But in Fast 6, he's in that movie, right?
Oh yeah, he's in Fast 6.
Because
Like
she hasn't
Fast
had the
7
baby yet.
is the last one.
But doesn't he has the baby in Fast 6 though, right?
I don't remember.
Because she was pretty pregnant at the end of Fast 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
They
sure
asked
Is Mia?
she did. Yeah,
Is she in any of the rest of them?
yeah, she is. She comes back.
Okay.
Even after Paul Walker is gone, she does come back.
Oh.
Yeah, I wondered if when he died, if they're just like, well, sorry, you can't be in the series anymore. We've said your characters need to just deal with your family.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone comes back in like, Fast X? Does everyone
Yeah.
just come
Oh,
back?
Fast X is like the end game of the Fast series. Like so many people come back for that one.
Yeah. Did they get Paul Walker's brother to come back and reprise his role as Paul Walker?
No. Paul Walker is the only one that didn't come back.
No.
He never comes back after 7.
He's off with the son.
Yeah, leave him alone. His wife can come over. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
She can get involved, but him and his son, no, leave him alone.
We don't want his son to have a life of crime.
Even though, like, Vin Diesel also gets his son and he gets involved in everything. So why does Vin Diesel get the same treatment?
Because he's still alive.
Because he keeps it in the family.
Yeah.
It's all about the family.
No, and I get why they didn't. They wanted to honor his memory, Paul Walker's memory, and be like, okay, yeah, we'll retire the character. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. The brother's apparently pretty convincing. So
I don't remember if this happens in the 6th movie or not, but maybe in the 7th. But what I do remember is that Kurt Russell comes in, and his character is like the head of this secret organization that hires, Dom and his crew to perform international missions, and they become like
Yes.
basically the IMF,
yes, I do remember hearing that.
and that's why they like do missions for everyone. And yeah, it just gets ridiculous. from
They're
there.
now good guys.
Yeah. And then like every bad guy they go up against eventually becomes a good guy. Every
Yeah.
single one.
It makes sense when they are bad guys for the bad guys to be like, oh, you know what? These bad guys are my kind of guys. I should join them. But to be like, I'm an evil murderer. Oh, you know what? I see the ways of family now.
Well, I mean, doesn't
it's-
Dwayne Johnson even like point at Paul Walker and he's like, "I'm not a turncoat like you," and then at the end of the movie, he's working with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And then apparently he joins them for the rest of the series or the franchise.
That's kind of more conflict, but kind of he does. Yeah.
Didn't Vin Diesel and The Rock get into it or something like that?
They do have another fight eventually, I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
in real
because
life, they did.
The Rock was
Oh,
not
in real
going to
life,
come
yeah.
back for like a movie, and Vin Diesel was like, "Oh my!" He like begged him on Instagram or something like that to come back.
He does
Yeah.
have a cameo. Hobbs has a cameo in 10th, so I guess he's gonna be in the next one.
Yeah, no, that was they finally made up or whatever. So yeah, he had a
They
cameo.
just
by the way,
flexed a little bit, and
Speaking of the 10th one, that's actually a direct sequel to Fast 5 because Reyes' son is actually what's the guy's name? Aquaman.
Nico? Oh God. It's Jason or
Yes,
Jason
Jason
Momoa.
Momoa. He's actually Reyes' son. So in the 10th movie,
He's
he
Nico.
wants to take revenge on the guys for killing
Oh
his
no,
dad.
Reyes.
What?
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you meant-
Reyes, yeah, the drug lord.
oh,
Sorry, I was thinking Vin's son.
yeah,
No,
that's
no,
what I
no.
was thinking too. I was like, "What?"
Do we ever
What?
see Nico? Yeah, do we ever see Nico again? Does he come join the family?
Wait. who's
They
Nico
gave him
again?
the payday. They're gone.
Yeah, that was the God. Where they're just like, no, I don't like. Did anyone even
No,
tell
Nico-
them that Vinny died? They're just like, here's some money. I'll be watching out for you.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Yeah, Nico never comes back. He never makes an appearance ever again.
Yeah, because they just
He's
took
forgotten
money.
about it.
Yeah, they also like left them with a bunch of money in like the favela, which is like a slums in Brazil. So like they're probably like if they start like living wealthy or whatever, or even like modestly, I bet they're gonna get robbed. Or
Yeah, she
something.
better get out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure she left. Although she also may have given some money away to people who need. Seemed like that kind of person.
Such a bleeding heart, you are, Tay.
Uh-huh.
Well, do you guys want to talk about the main action in this
The
one?
main action.
The main action scene,
The,
yes.
the vault on cars, which they actually did.
Yeah, I mean the practical effects was actually really good. Coming from Fast and Furious, where like the entire ending was CG, it was very refreshing to see an actual vault and cars actually getting smashed and stuff. I was like, finally, something's happening in this movie, and it's actually well done.
Yeah. So I had seen a while back. It was like a Stuntman Reacts Corridor Digital video, and they talked about this scene. So I actually went and tried to find it again last night, and I did. And yeah, they actually took a 9,000-pound safe, strapped it to two cars,
Wow.
and drove it around a set. There was actually three safes. So there was the real safe that was 9,000 pounds. Then there was like a safe shell that was actually a truck. Like a truck was, it was just a safe on a truck. And then the other one, so it was like a float, from a parade where it was just a facade of a safe on top of a truck. And then there was one for other shots where it was a facade just built onto the front of a semi truck.
Very
So-
cool.
Well, they
So, yeah.
definitely spend a big majority of the budget on this scene.
Yeah. So like when the vault crashed through a bank, they built a bank set, and then just crashed the 9,000-pound vault through it.
Yeah,
Um,
those people are actually there too.
Yeah. My only problem with the vault scene is there's times where you see it bashing through stuff, and then they'll cut to the either Dom or Brian, Paul Walker's character, and it was a smooth ride where you're like, I'm sorry.
I did notice that there were times where it flipped over and the wires were all twisted up, but the next time the wires were perfectly straight.
Yeah. Or just like I said, they weren't, you didn't see him jerking oh, okay, we're hitting something. We're saying something big. It was just do 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 do.
Yeah, even at the bridge where Vin Diesel takes over with the NOS, he kind of just effortlessly swings that thing around and crushes every single car in his wake, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, I like that. But also, I feel like he should have been struggling with it a little bit more than what they showed.
Yeah, especially when there's just one car on it.
He's got the NOS though.
Oh yeah. That was the other thing is at that point we don't know it's a big they've switched vaults, so it's why would Vin Diesel be nah, I gotta go back? Why don't he just nope, let's cut it and go?
Well, yeah. Initially, when that was starting to zoom out, and I thought that the scene was ending, and Dwayne let them go, and I'm like, you did all that, and you just left the money. Like that was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
initial reaction. Like
Yeah,
I was
mine
like,
too.
what are you doing? Like,
Well, I figure I'm like, okay, I guess the money will go to fix all the damage they did, I guess. And then nope, we switch vaults.
I mean, it's not a bad reveal.
No, it isn't. I agree.
And like seeing
But
the garbage
that's
truck, you just kind of figure like, oh, it's just a random garbage truck, like
and that's when they really try to hone in on the Ocean's 11
yeah.
likeness.
Which yeah, because I do remember during the chase where they're like go wide, and I was like, so you're just gonna demolish this truck you're going around? But yeah, no, they swapped it.
it took them 10 seconds. Cops
Yeah.
didn't know what hit him.
Yeah.
Well, they said they had like a 10-minute window or something like that, right?
Oh, she said
Sounds
you
like
earned yourself 10 seconds. I think that's what she said.
10 seconds. Wow.
Isn't that?
Well,
I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I
obviously.
think you're right. They did it under an overpass. I'm sure they showed it, but I'm thinking back. I've missed how they reconnected the fake vault onto the cars.
The two guys were standing on the side. I think.
Okay, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I.
Giselle and Han, I think.
Yeah.
That they reattached it.
No,
I
because
thought
Han
it was
was
the
Han was
Spanish
one of the
guys.
cops. Yeah, it was the Spanish.
Oh yeah,
guys.
yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
Oh right. I think Giselle was driving the truck, and the two Spanish guys reattached to safe. Okay.
Yeah. Because you see later when they're counting the actual money, they're the ones who are in like the garbage man
Yeah.
uniform. So, and I was so worried when they open, like if they open the vault and that like the money is pristine in there, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh, okay, it fell out. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, good. It's like that money is gone for a loop.
Here is a funny thing about Fast 5. Did you know that the one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I think it was the last one, practically stole this entire plot for the beginning of the movie.
Stranger Tides or Dead Man?
Dead Man Tells No
Tell.
Tales, or whatever it's called. Essentially, the first part of the movie, Captain Jack Sparrow is inside of a giant vault, and they attach it to the Black Pearl, and they essentially yank it out of the vault, and they drag it through a couple streets, and then eventually it gets to the Black Pearl.
Yes, I remember
they ripped
this.
this entire ending, almost ripped it in completely off. Like, and I was just thinking about that the entire time. I'm like, no, this movie came out before Pirates of the Caribbean, so Pirates of the Caribbean ripped off of Fast 5.
Wow. I had completely forgot about that. Yeah.
Is it the same director? Was he just doing an homage to himself?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
think
not.
so. Probably
Yeah,
not.
no,
Probably Jerry
I just looked it up. He
Bruckheimer.
does not have any Pirates of the Caribbean on his
Yeah.
repertoire. But he does have Star Trek Beyond, so take with that what you will.
Oh yeah, for this director. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one thing I was thinking of during the ending. I'm like, damn, didn't Pirates of the Caribbean do this? Like, I feel like this is very, very reminiscent of that.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw that one. I think I saw the first 4.
You don't need to see the fourth or the
Yeah.
fifth one, honestly. Like,
Yeah. Well, I saw the 4th one much later. It was like on a streaming thing. I had nothing to do. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a watch.
they took one of the coolest pirates in all of Legend and made him a little bitch. I don't know what to say. But anyway,
Back to Fast 5.
maybe eventually down the road we'll have a Pirates of the Caribbean deep dive. I don't know. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say about the end here?
About the final
Exactly,
scene.
Tay. Exactly.
Yeah, just talking about this movie's.
Mm.
No, I think I've said all my piece at this point.
One thing not necessarily at the end, although I do kind of, Vin Diesel and The Rock, fighting, they take a lot of punches. They're big guys. I get that part, but at the beginning, it seemed like a lot of people can take a lot of punches, and I don't know, it didn't feel right. It just felt like a lot of punches that would have knocked a lot of people out. I don't know. It just seemed like, I guess they're like sponges a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the only one that I kind of forgive and I kind of can see is The Rock and Vin Diesel, but still, they're like being thrown through walls, thrown
Yeah.
on glass and stuff. I'm like, okay, one of them would have given up a little
And did you
lot
notice
longer.
the next scene when they're in the armored car? Like The Rock looks fine, like nothing
Yes.
happened to him, and
Yeah,
Vin
nothing
has
happened to
some
him.
blood on him, but you could like there's hardly anything at all.
The Rock got to clean up. He's got to look his best.
Right,
every
exactly.
scene. Although, really, when the fight started, I was like, "There's no way Vin Diesel would win this fight."
No.
I mean, technically he kind of wins, but he also doesn't because he just kind of
Yeah.
gives himself up at the end. So technically, the Rock still won. I guess.
Yeah. Well, he showed character growth because he decided not to beat a person up with a pipe.
With
He
a
had-
wrench.
but he had that character growth in the first movie. I thought
Did he? I don't know. I
he
haven't
was
seen those
regretful of
ones.
his actions, and yeah, I mean,
Well, I think he was just really angered because he was poked at a lot about it. So
And they destroyed his car.
haha, you killed
Yeah.
someone.
pretty much, I mean, there was a couple of people that took jabs at him, the drug lord and The Rock.
I will say, Reyes, the way he dies in the end, like, it's kind of nice that they didn't drag it on.
Well,
That was pretty funny.
The Rock
Yeah.
just walks by, help me. I
But
don't
also,
care.
would a FBI agent really? Do
Yes, that's the other thing. Is like,
Well, I guess he was pissed because his crew got killed. But
yeah,
still,
he's just like, it's just more paperwork for me, and I'll probably get some paid leave vacation, so it's fine.
well, funny enough, Fast and Furious kind of ends the same way, where the main bad guy gets taken out by a car or something, and the goon or whoever helps him is shot. It's kind of funny. It's almost exactly the same. I think the roles are reversed in Fast and Furious, but it's essentially the same thing.
yeah, same thing. And it's like this the third movie where they're like taking down a drug lord.
Yeah.
Also, which I'm glad they finally changed gears after that, and like the villains became actually something cool instead of just being a drug lord.
Yeah.
You know what? Thinking back to it, Too Fast, Too Furious also had the car ram the boat and kill the main bad guy.
Yeah.
See, I mean, the problem with though is having these cool villains is everyone loves them, so then they have to redeem them somehow and make them good guys.
Okay, but who's really bleeding hard for the villain in this movie? Like who's
Oh
looking
no,
back?
No.
this one no. Well, I mean, Hobbs is kind of the bad guy, and he's
Okay.
likable and redeemed. But then after that, it's just Shaw. Okay.
Yeah, Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. Jason Momoa will probably be not the bad guy in the next one.
Charlize Theron,
Oh yeah.
although she didn't actually join the crew until the 10th one, but she's
Okay.
yeah.
Wasn't she the bad guy in the 9th one?
She was the bad guy in the 8th,
Oh okay.
but I think she also
Blows my
had a
mind
small
how
appearance in
many
the
there
8th.
are. It's
Right.
crazy.
I don't even know.
How the heck do they have 12 movies of this?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Wait.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, because Hobbs and Shaw is the 12.
Oh, so isn't that 11 movies then with Hobbs and Shaw?
Well, they're having
11,
the 12th
12,
one
I don't
coming
know.
out. The
Who
12th
cares?
one's coming out, which supposedly is the last one, right?
I think there's two
Supposedly.
more. Well, I don't know.
I
I
Point
thought, yeah, I thought Fast X Part 2 was the
Oh
last
no. Okay, so part 2, there's Fast X Part 2, and then another spin-off with Hobbs,
Oh.
Lovely.
and also Jason Momoa, because Jason
it'll
wants to
keep-
get
it-
revenge for killing his dad.
We all know it's going to keep going, so I don't know why they're even building up an ending to this franchise. It's going to go until Vin Diesel is old and wrinkly. You know what? It's going to keep going until Vin Diesel is
Yeah.
in the ground. Like,
Yeah.
Right?
I'll say at this point, he's already pretty old and needs to probably.
I mean, just look at Indiana Jones.
oh,
Yeah.
He's
I
pretty
feel
old.
bad for Harrison
He's in
Ford.
he's in his 80s.
But no,
Yeah.
I actually really like Jason Statham as a bad guy in 7th. Wait, is it 7th? Yeah, 7th.
Yeah, but
And
he can't
he's
stay
a
the
really
bad guy.
cool bad guy. Yeah, but actually Jason Momoa might be the best one now because he's actually a really really good bad guy.
Ooh.
He's like this deranged Joker type of character, but he's also like very flamboyant. So he's like just like a really fun character.
So he's gay Joker.
Yes, basically.
So he's the Joker. Everyone knows the Joker's gay.
That's true. You know, you're right.
It's so funny how similar they made him to the Joker.
Yeah, so we were going to talk about the naming convention for the
Yes,
entire
please.
franchise here.
Yes, please.
So,
Yes.
just as a recap, it starts off with The Fast and The Furious, which,
Yes.
fine name, even though the movie is not really Fast and Furious at all. It's fine name still. And then it moves on to Too Fast, Too Furious, which, cute. I'll give
Yeah,
it
it's a
that.
good name. I like that one. Yeah, I like
It's
that
a cute name, you know?
Mhm.
Uh,
Fast and the Furious.
Kind of,
Tokyo
kind of.
Drift.
It's
which is
the
fine as
Fast
well.
and the Furious. Yeah. Okay. So the naming convention went back to the first one, which is good. Okay,
Yeah,
they went
and
back to the original
just
naming
like this
convention.
was
All right.
a spin-off. It's the Tokyo Drift. It's about
Yes.
drifting in Tokyo. Perfect. It's fine.
And then everything
this
goes
is-
downhill.
Everything goes
Yeah.
off the rails.
so we got Fast and Furious, which it's
They're no longer
Fast Ampersand Furious.
Yeah, and they're no longer. There's no articles. Just straight to the point.
Yes.
And then Fast 5.
No
which-
longer furious, just fast.
Yeah, they're just
Come on.
fast.
It would have made sense if it was like Ocean's 11
Furious
and there was only
5.
like five people on the crew, but no, there were more than 5.
Yeah,
I also
So
think
the title doesn't
Furious
make sense
5
for
would
that.
have been a better name too.
yeah, they were more furious because it was revenge.
Which
They
is
were
funny
Oh, we'll get
because
to that.
yeah, we'll get to that. then 6 they kind of went more vanilla again with Fast and Furious 6.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Is it the? And it's
Fast
not the
and Furious
ampersand
6.
though.
It is. It
It's
is.
the
It
word-
is the ampersand.
Okay, I was like, I thought it was the
It
word
is.
and.
I wish they went
So,
back
yeah.
to and.
So for some reason they went back to the naming convention of the 4th one for the
Yeah.
6th one, which okay. Here we are. And then we got Furious 7.
So now they're angry.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
angry because
Now
they killed off
not in the
Han,
fifth one, just this one.
so they're all furious about it.
And then the fate of the Furious. Get it? The eight.
Eight,
Eight.
yeah, the
of the
I'm
Furious?
surprised they didn't fit the 8 in the
Yeah, I'm
word
about to say,
fate.
It could have been the E. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
E or
And
A?
this is the movie where actually Vin Diesel becomes the bad guy and the crew has to go against Vin Diesel.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Oh my god, don't watch
Right.
that one.
And that's why it's the fate of the Furious. We don't know what's gonna happen to the crew.
But
Then they throw everything out for the 9th.
But that one, it
Right.
turns out he's just being blackmailed, right, to do the evil.
For the 8th one, yes. It turns out that Elena actually had a kid and they kidnapped that kid and forced him to do bad stuff, or
Wait,
else they
who's
threatened to kill him.
Elena?
Elena's the cop lady from 5.
Oh, okay. So he had a child.
He had a child with her, yes.
So did
was
he
she-
leave
was
her
she
to go
didn't
back
even-
with his original wife?
Yes, in the 6th one, he came back to his original wife, but he didn't actually know about the baby until the 8th.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Jesus.
And then F9.
Yeah.
Is there like
Fast
Yeah, they
saga.
just dropped everything. They're
Is
like,
it-
you know
is-
what? I'm
is there
lazy
actually
again."
like an F9 Indie racer in there or something, or stock
I
car? You
don't
know,
think so no,
Probably
I
not.
don't
a
think so
drag
at
race
all.
car or something? Yeah, F9. It just sounds like they're saying F this. Like F this,
Yeah.
F9.
And it's so funny too because this one, what's his name? The other wrestler. It's the bad guy. God, what is his name?
Oh,
John Cena.
Yes, John Cena,
John
and that's
Cena, he's
well,
like-
it was actually Vin Diesel's brother,
Huh?
which for some reason shows up out of nowhere.
twin
Yeah.
brother.
What?
Dom's brother. That's
Brother
right.
with the hair?
Yeah, he's Dom's brother who shows up out of nowhere and he becomes the bad guy, which of course he becomes a good guy in the 10th one.
Yeah. Which, like, if he's all about family, why have we never heard about this brother? Like, he brought his sister along.
Right? That's what I like to know.
And it's supposed to be his older brother, even though Vin Diesel is clearly older than John Cena.
Wait, really? I thought he was supposed to be younger. The younger brother.
No, I was saying, it would make sense if it was the older brother. It's like, oh yeah, he was already like moved out of the house.
Oh, right. Okay.
So like we
Yeah.
don't contact him. But no, it's his younger brother, and they were just like, yeah, fuck that kid.
And then
And then,
finally,
of course, we have Fast 10 or Fast X. For the first time, they're using Roman numerals.
Yes. Fast X Part 1 and Fast X Part 2.
yeah,
We'll see.
I'm
We'll see if that's
guessing.
what
Yeah,
they
I'm guessing
decide to call
part
it.
2 is just a placeholder right now.
They
It's probably
didn't
gonna be
say...
like Fast X.
Yeah, there was like no
Fast
part
one.
1 anywhere in the movie, so they'll probably name it something different.
So
Well, they
More than
probably-
likely.
You know what? They probably went
X,
into this
X.
going. It's just this is Fast X, and then they were like, oh shit, we have too much content. We gotta do 2 parts to this.
Yeah.
They're
No,
just leading up
they
to,
really want
Fast XXX.
Yeah, they
and
really
it's
want to get
just
up to
gonna be
Fast
Vin Diesel naked.
XXX.
No,
No, I was
please.
thinking it was going to be, Jason Statham reprising his role from Triple X.
Well, Vin Diesel's in Triple X too, right?
Oh, is he?
Wait,
Yeah,
Jason Statham was in Triple X?
No,
John
Vin
Cena.
Diesel's in Triple
Is
X.
Yeah, Vin
Is it
Diesel.
Vin Diesel?
Because
Okay.
Sandy
Pete
Page.
recommended Triple X
Oh, that's
because
right.
Vin Diesel is the main
That's
character.
right. No, I was thinking of Cranked, I think.
Oh, Crank.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, Crank.
That
yeah.
was Jason Statham.
Yeah, that was Jason Statham.
So who's famous and could be in the next Fast movie?
Samuel L. Jackson will be
Ooh.
in Triple X at least, because he was in
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Triple X, right?
Maybe.
So Fast 30.
What about
And,
the
and bring
other,
Ice Cube. Why not?
the other third? Who plays Rambo? What's his name again?
Oh, Sylvester
Stallone.
Stallone.
yeah,
Sylvester
I'm surprised he's not
Stallone.
in this series.
They gotta get Jackie
He has-
Chan in there.
He has standards, okay?
Oh, I would love for Jackie Chan.
Oh, yeah,
Well, actually, never mind. I don't know if I should say that.
It's
I don't know if I
Expendables
want
was
Jackie
such a
Chan in
great
this.
movie
Has
series.
Jackie Chan ever been like driving a car like in a movie? Like I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh,
I mean, he's
that's
mostly
true. I
just
don't-
on foot and fighting people.
That's true. Yeah.
Which
maybe
they could
maybe
use- they could use.
in the tuxedo he drives a car. I think he drives a spy car in that movie. I guess Rush Hour he might drive a car.
Well, you can't have
he's gonna
someone
be-
that actually fights,
Yeah, I'll say he's gonna be the bad guy, and he's gonna they just fight him, and they're like, "But we need cars." I don't do cars. I just beat your ass. But cars.
He could
And then
beat someone up
he-
with different parts of a car, like the
Yeah.
tears off the door and
Yeah, and then eventually he's a good guy, but he's always ripping Dom's car apart to fight with it, and Dom's
Right.
just like, "Jackie."
Oh, and I
Alright,
forgot to mention that Giselle, she dies in the 6th one, but of
No, I
course
think
she
you said
shows up
that.
in the 10th one. Oh, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
that's
you
Gal
said that
Gadot,
already, yeah.
right?
Gal Gadot, yeah.
yeah.
She's so hot. Oh my god.
Yeah, and she shows up in a submarine.
Wow. Oh, a submarine.
Submarine.
Oh, is
So
this
I did
Mission
also
Impossible?
look up. I did look up if you can actually get fingerprints off of cloth. And
Okay.
you can. It's difficult, but you can.
Well,
Maybe
he
it's a
really
special,
grabbed the ass
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Well, and
She
if
like
it's
gripped
a,
it.
yeah, and if it's easier if it's a like denser material, so like a higher thread count, it becomes easier.
Maybe it's
So I'm
like
just
part nylon.
Yeah, polyester. If it was a polyester suit, it probably would work fine. So
Mm.
What are you guys talking about? I think that's when my internet died.
the hand taking the handprint off of the swimming suit butt or bottom.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
plausible.
ending, yeah.
It is
Tay
plausible.
was saying it was plausible, and we're gonna test it on him next week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, I'm
Who's
glad
gonna
I'll
rip
be
my
there for that.
butt?
Me.
That'll be
Hey, oh, wait, we can't announce that yet.
You gotta cut that part in.
Oof.
Damn. All right, let's all be quiet
Curse
for 5
you,
seconds,
Gritty.
so I
All
remember
right.
to edit this out.
Okay.
You gotta say something though, like edit out the part moments before this silence.
Now, edit that part out before the silence.
Okay.
That's
no,
how I-
Yemmy's probably gonna forget.
You know what?
Yeah,
Maybe.
this whole thing's gonna be in it.
It's just gonna be the silence is gone.
Or
It's
I
gonna
could
be
I could just
right
beep it.
before the silence.
I might be able to beep it. I could beep it.
Oh, you could do it, but then I gotta edit
Oh.
all this us saying edit stuff out. That's
No,
that's
I keep it in. Keep it in.
And
All
keep
right.
the
Why not? Why not?
anticipation. Yeah. They'll be like, what? Wait, what?
Now this is gonna be really awkward when you forget to beep it or edit it out.
Well, at that, yeah. Who actually makes it to this far into a podcast? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, usually when I listen to a podcast, I listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I listened to Ferret 64 to the end. Those can be lengthy at times.
Right.
Well, this latest one is almost 2 hours, so yeah.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. And the one before that one was lengthy too.
I say this episode is actually turning out pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of
Speaking
talking
of
points.
speaking of lengthy, any final thoughts on this movie before we wrap up?
Okay, gals. All right.
Well, yeah. My last thought is one that I'm gonna reiterate. The acting's terrible in this movie, and that's that. I mean, except for even Paul Walker seems to be phoning it in this one. Like maybe Dwayne Johnson was kind of hamming it up there,
Yeah.
But everyone else, I just felt was really flat. Gal Gadot, I never thought she was a good actor. She's a good model, but not a great actress.
Mhm.
Mia, I mean, she has like the one face she does when she's driving, and that's like her entire character. uh, Vin Diesel, just bad all around. I guess I liked Han. He was good.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Mm.
everything else was just like
Han,
flat empty.
all he does is like eat stuff on camera.
Yeah.
He's
Eats
always
his
snacking on
chips.
something.
But he does that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But everyone, Han is a fan favorite. That's why they
That's why
kill
they
him on
revive
screen
him.
like 3 times, and he keeps coming back.
He's getting
Speaking of
revived by
which-
Dr. Frankenstein.
Do you guys think there were scenes like in movie theater people like got up and clapped for or clap like the scene like in the beginning where they cut down the wall and it's Vin Diesel? Like everyone, I just see like being in the movie theater and everyone just start clapping after that wall breaks down. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's the
"Oh,
Marvel
gosh."
moment, you know.
Yeah.
I could see people
Or
clapping.
when the Rock comes
yeah.
in.
I could see people clapping when they like start talking about like the people coming back. Like if it was a rowdy movie theater of people who love Fast and Furious, they're like, "Oh my god, it's Han! Oh my god, it's Gal Gadot! Oh my god!"
Yes, people actually did cheer when Gal Gadot showed up and Fast X.
Jesus.
So
Well, everyone thought she was dead and she wasn't coming back.
Yes.
So
At this
Yep.
point,
there's that.
no one should think that ever for this
Yeah.
series. Like,
Yes.
true.
But yeah, I just had like that thought throughout the movie. I was like, people probably clap.
well, that's another reason why I think that like this is like this should have been the final movie in the series. It's like everything that happens is like it's like so nostalgic of all the other movies. You expect there to be like applause when each person shows up and they all have their own roles and they all have their own separate endings. You feel like this really was supposed to be like the final movie, but seeing
But
as
The
there's,
Rock says, I give you 24 hours.
I mean, it was more than 24 hours when they were showing the ending. So
Yeah. He didn't find because I mean, also Vin said, you won't find us,
Mhm.
and clearly he didn't.
yeah,
Yeah, like these movies made just so much money for Universal that I think with with them rebooting the 4th one is when they kind of like set out the plan to make them into a series.
Yeah.
yeah. They gave
Well, I
they
mean-
gave the ending it was too finite of an ending. Like I think I was happy. Like this is like one of the only movies that I've reviewed in the past like I don't know a couple episodes where I'm like finally a satisfying ending where there's like a big action and then the the closing to it. It actually felt good.
Should have watched the end credit scene. It's not. It was like not even after the credits, but like before the credit scene. You know how like after
It was a mid.
the title, a mid credit scene. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw the first credit, I turned off the movie. So.
Yeah.
Can you
almost did,
blame
but I was
me?
like,
Like,
I bet there's something. But you didn't think Holes had a good ending?
I don't remember. What?
Wow, that
They-
was the previous episode.
Yeah, I know. That was just the last episode.
No, I don't remember saying that it had a good ending. I thought the ending was just kind of mid.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying anything positive about the ending.
That's fair. I couldn't remember. So
So yeah, finally a movie that I thought the ending was good, but the rest of the movie is bad.
How ironic.
Ironic. Hey, let's all do our Vin Diesel impressions and say family at the same time.
hold
Sure.
on. Let me prepare.
Oh, I should not have cleared my throat. Actually, I should have.
I'm
kept
trying
the
to get my
lemon
throat
bottle.
down lower.
Eh. 3, 2, 1. Family.
Family.
And now that that's out of the way.
All right, now let's do our rating. But we're doing Vin Diesel's voice now.
Oh god.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I
Can't
mean,
talk anymore. With a Vin Diesel impression on the podcast.
I did a Vin Diesel impression on the podcast. Are we all? I mean, let's ask first. Is everyone good
Yeah,
to go? We all.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
think
we'll do
so.
our normal ad stuff as we do our ratings.
Shame.
Add stuff.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Callus.
All right.
Take it away.
Sure thing. So yeah, I remember saying that this was like my favorite or the best movie out of the whole series.
Yeah, you really set it
And,
up, Callus.
I have to apologize because watching it now, I don't no longer believe that. I don't know what it was. I think it's been a while since I watched it, and I guess like walking out of the movie the last time I saw it, I was like feeling such a high from like that final action scene, which was really well made, and I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it again this time. But the entire rest of the movie, yeah, it kind of like it was a mess. It dragged on. It was definitely not as good as I thought it was going to be. So many plot holes, so many things that didn't make sense. I thought the chemistry between Tyrese and Ludacris was better, and like the two Spanish guys. But watching it this time, it was like, yeah, I agree with you guys. It just felt very forced. So yeah, definitely. I don't know if I'm just like have become more critical of movies, being on this podcast, and back then I was more able to kind of just shut my brain off to these kind of things. But yeah, I definitely just enjoyed that final 30 movies or so of the movie. That was still like very fun to watch and very exciting. But as far as the rest of the movie, yeah, not really that great. So I'll give this movie a 2.5 out of 5.
All right. Well, Callus, don't feel too bad. I'm glad that you're man enough, I guess, to admit that you've changed your opinion, which I mean happens a lot to me when I watch movies on this podcast. Like I think the only movie that I really haven't changed opinion on is Kung Pao. That might be the only movie that I've kind of stayed the same as I was from back in the day. And yeah, I mean, as we grow, we change and think differently about things. And I know this podcast has helped me in my critical thinking and reviewing movies. So it's understandable that something that you thought was awesome back in the day is like kind of mid now.
And I am actually still planning on watching the rest of the series.
Hey,
so we'll see.
I'll
keep you guys updated.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
So yeah, I'm gonna start off my final thoughts by saying I'm done. I think that this was, hearing that this was like the template for like the rest of the movies forward, I was like, you know what, I just can't do it. It's too much boring nonsense throughout the movie. I mean, I think it's not as bad as Fast and Furious, but it's still pretty bad. I really just can't take any more of this franchise at this point. Like it was good like back in like the early 2000s with Tokyo Drift and Too Fast, Too Furious, and then I don't know, something's changed and they didn't make it as fun. They didn't. I mean, obviously the final action scene is great. It's done practically, which is amazing, and I love that because so many movies would take the easy way out. It was like Mad Max Fury Road level of like car destruction, and I love that. But the explosive ending and the satisfying conclusion before the credits roll doesn't do enough to make up for like the hour and 20 some minutes of boredom that I had. I talked about how I was literally bored to tears yawning while this movie was going on, and I just I don't know. In the end, I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah. I pretty much agree. It was pretty boring up until like the train was all right, and like the stuff, but the stuff in the middle was just horrible, boring. Acting wasn't the greatest either. Yeah, it was kind of nice to have a conclusion, like Yemmy said, but I don't know. I just really don't know. Like, I have nothing else to add to this franchise. Like I said, I don't know how this became a huge series and all these people that love these movies. I think if it gets worse from here, I probably won't be continuing this franchise. I'm gonna have to set it down for a little bit. Maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe in a few years. But
are you gonna go back and watch Fast and Furious?
I would. I don't know. I think
I'd
put it down for now. Forget about it for now. And maybe it's because I just kind of watched them all within a week. Well, not a week, but like 2 weeks. Maybe that was an issue too, and I was just over it. But I don't know. I just had to let it sit and let it boil for a little bit and get back to it eventually. But the movie, I don't know. I'd give it 2.5 out of 5.
And then it came to me. So coming into this, I hadn't, I saw Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift back in like 2004, 2005. that's the only Fast and Furious movie I've seen. I've seen the I guess the ride at Paramount, the Universal Studios Universal Tour has a Fast and Furious segment, but clearly that takes place at least after number 7.
I think so. Yeah.
Paul Walker's not there, and yeah. So yeah, coming to the beginning of the movie, there's a lot of things I was just like, I don't know what the hell's happening. Also, why is physics being broken so many times? And then that just kind of continued. I started to get a little like, okay, this is maybe a little interesting. When they kind of started setting up maybe a heist, but yeah, then it just also felt they're trying to copy Ocean's 11 and just felt forced. And then all that planning didn't matter, so it was like, okay, well, that was just pointless and made the movie longer when it didn't need to be. And then they went in a different direction completely. The final scene, like so with the bank vault, was cool, especially that it was done practically, like we've all said, it was really cool. But yeah, it felt kind of like everything wrapped up. It was the end, or it should have been the end. But then they just kept making more of these.
Yep. And they kept making more and more money.
More and more and more. And yeah, like, I don't get it, but whatever. Like I said, I did not really enjoy this movie. I'm like, I definitely don't ever want to see it again. But then there's part of me that I'm just like, but damn it, now I want to know what happened.
Maybe there's like somewhere on YouTube where you can just look up the set piece action scenes from each movie instead of like having to sit through the plot.
I think it's like there's a pitch meeting of most of them, and I've watched most of those before, so I'll just rewatch them again and be like, yep, that scratched that itch. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna give this movie a 2 out of 5 as well.
All right.
Yeah, find those videos. Send them in the chat, and I'll watch them too.
We're all pretty close on this one.
And to answer your question, no, I will not go back and watch the original movie as of now.
Fast and Furious is not the original movie.
The fourth one?
The fourth one? I thought you said the fourth or the first one earlier.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're so similar named. I understand the confusion.
We get why you made the mistake.
I thought you were poking fun at me saying I would rather watch the original over. Which one was that? The second one? Or?
Well,
I do want to bring up last night, like I said, when I was looking for that clip about the vault, I came across another one where they talked about the race from the first movie and how just like it's so bad that like it's a joke among like car racing people.
Yeah, see, I thought the drag race against the train was actually kind of cool.
No, I'm not talking about the train. I'm talking about the drag race between Vin Diesel and Paul Walker.
That was
that's the one with the train. Yeah, that's the
final scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Apparently, it's just so bad, and like the one where his floor just like starts falling apart for no reason.
I don't know about that.
I think you were talking about like the first drag race in the movie.
Oh,
it might be. I don't. Yeah, I was like,
yeah. Because Paul Walker like overdoes it or whatever and blows up his car.
Yeah, and
that's
like,
when
like the errors, like his computer telling him there's errors and like the manifold errors, like that's not a thing, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not watch The Fast and the Furious again. I'd watch Too Fast and Tokyo Drift for sure, like eventually down the road. But
yeah.
Greedy and I are kind of opposite, which is why I kind of joked in the Discord that he would probably like Fast and Furious because I thought it was the worst that the series has to offer.
I give it a 5 out of 5.
Well, that would definitely be opposite of me, like fully. But yeah, I'm not interested in watching it. So.
Too bad this one wasn't a Fast 5 out of 5.
That's true, yeah.
There's a Fast 2 out of 5.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I don't know if like the rest of the movies get worse, but they do get like more ridiculous.
Crazy.
They try to be more over the top, fun. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm willing right now. Yeah, probably. I'm in the same boat as Greedy, even though I've watched more movies in the series than him.
I'll let you know my thoughts when I watch the 6th one.
All right.
Sounds good.
Looking forward to it.
So now it's time for the three of us to rate the pick. If it was a good suggestion for us. And I'll start off by saying, personally, no, because I never watched the movies before. So actually, maybe it was a good pick. but maybe Fast 5 was the wrong pick. Maybe it should have been like Tokyo Drift or Too Fast, Too Furious. So technically it was kind of a good pick because it got me to watch some of the movies, but also wasn't a good pick because I didn't like it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about the same way. Why did you pick this one? Did you like?
Because Cal said
I
it was
kinda
his
said
favorite in the
right.
series.
Before,
Oh yeah,
'cause,
it was
the
the favorite in the
best.
series.
a lot of people say
Um,
that Fast Five is the best of the series, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
questionable at this
yeah, I'm
point.
gonna say no. It was not a good pick
Yeah.
because after the second movie, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a lot.
Yeah, for me, it was not a good pick, just because I have never had any interest in the Fast and Furious movies besides making fun of their naming convention. um,
I'm glad we're able to have that conversation though.
yeah,
That's
me
the
too.
real reason why I picked this movie.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
But yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
but yeah, no, not a good pick for me.
All
So.
right. Well, as you all know, episode 100 is next. And it is the final episode for Callus before we bring in, that's right, a new person to the show in episode 101. And also, just as a little spoiler, maybe, Tay has redesigned some of the stuff for our logo and stuff. So that'll also be updated on episode 101. Very cool.
So we can announce that we're going to season 3 now.
Well,
Right?
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think the plan was always to go to season 3, but we didn't know who was going to be the fourth person after Callus said goodbye. But now we do know, but it's still a secret as long as I remember to edit that part out of the podcast.
Yeah, can you edit this tonight?
I gotta turn on my old computer and load up the slow software.
Oh no.
It's much more of a hassle to edit now. I have like a dedicated day to edit nowadays.
Okay, put a little post-it note for yourself.
When I see that gap in the audio, I will remember. I guarantee it. But anyway, episode 100. As we did episode 50 and we did the Back to the Future trilogy, which worked out great. It was actually not. It wasn't too. It wasn't. I mean, it was like 2 hours long. It worked out pretty good. So we decided, because 100 is like even bigger of a milestone. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for 3 years now. We decided that we would do the Jurassic Park trilogy, not Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park movies. 2 of them are directed by Steven Spielberg. The third one is Joe Johnson. I'm not going to go through.
Mama.
Yeah, Joe Mama. I'm not going to go through all the synopsises. I'll just do the first movie just to kind of start us off. And then as we go through the movie, or as we talked about them in the next episode, we'll go through all the plots of those. But the original Jurassic Park is from 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg. It's about a wealthy entrepreneur secretly creating a theme park featuring living dinosaurs drawn from prehistoric DNA. But before opening day, he invites a team of experts and 2 eager grandchildren to experience the park and help calm anxious investors. However, the park is anything but amusing as the security systems go offline and the dinosaur escapes. And this stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough, Bob Peck, B.D. Wong, Samuel L. Jackson, and Wayne Knight, and many, many more. And this is obviously the whole trilogy, I would say, is kind of a classic, but obviously on rewatch, we'll see. But the first movie, can't wait to rewatch this entire trilogy, actually, because I haven't watched the whole trilogy in quite some time. So I'm very excited. I have them all on Blu-ray. I bought the trilogy back when I was like just getting out of high school and had no money, but I was like at Best Buy and it was like $60. I'm like, I want that.
I have bought the trilogy twice.
Yeah. So, if you don't have the DVD or Blu-ray, it is available on Hulu and Hulu. It looks like Hulu is the only streaming site, or Google Play and YouTube, I guess. But it's only on disc on Amazon. So it's also on Apple TV as well.
I almost watched it today. One of my local theaters is actually showing it in theaters today.
Ooh,
I
sure.
almost went today, but I didn't feel like going to the movies like twice in a row.
Yeah.
The Jurassic Park movie is free on Amazon Prime.
It doesn't say that on this site, but if it is, that's great.
Yeah. So I've seen the first one recently. I mean, that one, spoiler, still holds up.
Oh, good.
We'll see about the other 2.
So the second movie is called The Lost Worlds,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't like part of the
World
Jurassic
trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Jurassic Park, Jurassic Lost World, Jurassic Park Lost
yeah.
World, and then Jurassic Park 3.
Just want to make
That's
sure.
a weird
so-
naming convention.
It's
We'll
not.
talk
It's
about
not.
that
It's,
later.
it's not
I
as
was like, the
bad
first two make
as Fast
sense
and the
because
Furious.
that's the first two make sense because that's the books.
Right.
Then they just went, what if we do a third movie with all the stuff we cut from the books?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second movie is a little weird title, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, if you want to join the conversation for Jurassic Park, the trilogy, make sure you watch that all before the next episode airs in 2 weeks. We did say if you want to watch Jurassic World trilogy, you can, but no pressure because 2 out of the 3 movies are unwatchable. But hey, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But we're going to be watching the Jurassic Park trilogy. So yeah, if you want to hear about that, just tune in 2 weeks. We'll talk about that. And don't forget, as usual, the fan vote is going to happen next time around on Tay's episode. So you got quite a little bit of time before that happens. And don't forget that the poll is going to be split between my Discord and Twitter for the first time, or X for the first time around. And then I'm going to take away the Twitter part of the poll and just put it on Discord. So if you want to keep voting in the polls, you got to be a part of the Discord. I'm just kind of tired of using Twitter. It's not that great of a platform anymore. So there we go. All right. Is there anything else y'all want to say before we end the show?
Of course.
You know what I'm about to say. Be sure to clean your ass, people. Come on.
Yes, please do.
Holding it good.
Just like that famous quote from Jurassic Park, that's one big pile of shit.
Mhm.
If you don't clean it, that's how it is.
All right. I am the Fast and the Ferret, and I've been here with...
Greedy Waffles.
Taymation.
And Kellis Toretto.
And this has been Film Freaks with a Z. Thank you for listening, family.
Bye, family.
Family.
We're in a tight squeeze.
Family.
Bye.
Don't forget to wipe your ass. That was horrible. Delete that.